you. I really don't have anything to tell you. The November the 5th thing on Facebook, like I said, it was done by someone else who was looking up those dates for me and put that, and we posted it. I didn't delete it because I didn't want it to look like I was trying to hide anything here recently. I'd forgotten it was even on there, to be honest with you, because it was November the 13th. I haven't shared it. I haven't told another soul about November the 5th or anything like that. As far as me running for president, I was going to do a submission to see what it would take to run for president, but then I thought, well, I'll start out as anyone should. You start at the lowest part as a commissioner, as an independent. It was nothing, any grand plan or anything. We just had to get together, and I was going to run for something, so it ended up being commissioner. I submitted no paperwork for president, so that's what that was about. And well, if you have any questions, that's.
May I be recognized?
Mr. Smith, I'm sorry, Commissioner Gertrude.
Go ahead. And if you have a question for Mr. Smith.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to ask if the witnesses who are present today are prepared to give testimony as to whether they are the signatories on the petition to clear up that controversial aspect of the complaint.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask as well. If they are prepared to testify, this would be the time, I think.
Okay. Well, I'd like to put it on the record that he's saying that I'm signing signatures for other people or whatever. Why would I have to change a signature for my wife, my brother, and people that I'm friends with? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Are you that scared of losing votes?
Mr. Smith, just for the record, I don't think anybody's making any accusations of you. I think there have been challenges made to signatures and addresses and certain things under the law. I wouldn't take this as a personal affront. Obviously, you're a candidate and probably have a lot of good things and bad things said about you, but I don't think there's been any accusation that you forged or had someone forge signatures.
No, he said that earlier. He said the signatures didn't match and it looked like someone signed them, and sometimes just because it's a friendly family person, that doesn't mean that someone didn't sign it, that didn't sign it. No, he said that out of his own mouth. So it's a slanderous accusation. But I got my brother and my wife and David and William, if you come up here, it's one of the ones you guys called off.
So if they're the witnesses that were sworn in earlier,
Yes.
We'd like for them to come forward. And
My dad's 86 years old. He couldn't be here, or I would have had him down here as well.
Hawkins, right?
Yeah. And so I would just like to testify that I signed my name and filled out the form with the intent to have Brian run as a candidate to represent us in South Knoxville as county commissioner. So I didn't, no one else signed my name, and I don't know what else.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. Thanks for.
Sir, do you live in District 9, County Commission District 9?
Yes.
And just for the record, that was signature number 9, signature number 9.
I'm Stacey Smith, and I did sign the papers for my brother. He didn't have to forge any names for me. As far as I know, everything was legit. There's a lot of family members that signed these papers, and something was said about not having enough signatures. Well, I said at one point I could probably get 200 signatures if that's what he needed, but he didn't need that. He only wanted enough to get on the ballot. That's why there was such few names. So if we needed 200, we had about 200.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Smith. It looks like, Mr. Davis, if I'm looking at this accurately, that Mr. Smith is number 33. Are you 7712 Goddard Road?
Yes. 35. No, excuse me, 33.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes, I'm Smith, and I did sign the form for my husband, and I live in District 9.
No, it's signatory number 22, I believe.
I'm William Kidd. I don't really know what number, but I signed on a Sunday morning and happy to do it. I would have signed any other time. And I think there could be another family member. We could have come up with that in one Sunday morning that live in the district. So, and I am and do live in district now.
Okay. Before you all are seated, do any of the commissioners have questions for these witnesses? Thank you all for being here. You may be seated. Mr. Smith, you can continue with your remarks.
To be honest with you, I love South Knoxville enough that I know about splitting votes. I know what it takes about when you run as an independent, you split the votes with the Republican Party. This is why I'm running, because I won't be associated with either side for this very reason. I guarantee you, if you asked him, he would be saying that Donald Trump's going through the same thing from the Democrat Party, made up lies, going through the court system. The Sanhedrin is what I call it, because it's a corrupt system. I guarantee you, if you ask him, that's what he would tell you, that Donald Trump's getting screwed over. It's the same hypocrisy that they're doing right now that he's doing. That's what's wrong with our it's what's wrong with our government right now. We have R's and D's battling each other out, not for the independent people, the average person. We are a constitutional republic. We're not a democracy. This isn't mob rules. So everybody that I talk to, when I talk about environmental stuff and our government stuff, when I meet people, this is what I talk to them about. I've wanted to kind of bow out several times, but they keep telling me, no, we need to hear this. The people need to hear this. This is what this is about. The 2 banners that he's talking about, I spent my own money on them. $750. I bought 3 banners and a box load of cards. I've passed out more box loads of cards ever since they brought this up, because I was going to lay low. I love South Knoxville enough that I wasn't going to split the vote, okay? That's what this is about. That's not going to happen now. As soon as you guys make your vote, whether you move me from the ballot or not, I'm going to be everywhere they are, because I'm going to tell you this. There's a fox in the in-house of District 9. That's what that is. He's claiming that he's going to be able to stop what the invasion is. He's not going to be able to. So when I go behind him and meet people and tell them that's not going to happen, he's not going to be able to do anything. This train's rolling. It comes from the mayor office down, both parties. So that's what this is really about. It's about votes, and me splitting the votes, and them losing their power, them losing their place. So, you guys, if you have any other questions for me, I would love to answer it. But that's really what this is about.
I do have a question for you, Mr. Smith, and then my colleagues may have some additional questions for you. Thank you for bringing the witnesses that you were able to tonight, and we certainly recognize that on a Friday evening it's difficult to get everyone here. So I'll just ask you, while you're under oath.
Well, the UT Sports was here as well, so they weren't coming over as well.
Yes.
So what are you going to do?
And I can tell you that there's a very competitive t-ball game right now happening at Christopherson Park, so that may also be competing with our attendance. Did you or did you not have each individual signer of this petition personally sign the paper?
100%.
You're telling us under oath that none of the signatures on this were signed by anyone else than the name that's on this?
I would not, and there would be no reason to. Like my brother said, if we needed 500, we'd have got 500. If we needed 1,000, we'd have got 1,000. That's what they're scared of. And I'll tell you this, I would rather sat with Mr. Parks and have a meal as this man any day of the week.
Other questions for Mr. Smith right now? Commissioner Smith, you're recognized.
And not so much a question, just to kind of clean up the air. What's before us tonight is only a challenge to signatures and addresses. So some of the other things that were brought up, not before this body, if you've got reports due, that is, I believe, under the purview of the Bureau of Ethics of Campaign Finance, I would recommend you get those in. Anything else would fall under the Attorney General having to look at, if there were some fraud things happening. What's before us is only the nominating petition and the signatures. Are they valid or are they not? So I just want to make sure the general public understands our only job here tonight is what the petition that was originally filed, which is around signatures on the signature petition. So I just want to
Correct.
make sure that's clear.
And everything's been amended. What happened the first time was when I was explaining to one of Mrs. Davis's members, was he was thinking that I was wanting to give myself a loan, and so you have to sign a different paper on that. And then when they told me the dates that I put down was not the correct date. That was amended. Again, it was a paperwork issue. It wasn't intent of anything. I'm not hiding anything. They've got over $6,000–7,000 to spend on the Republican side. The Democrats have $12,000. I spent $750 of my own money. I'm not hiding anything. There's no one gave me a dime. Zero. So that's what we're here. I did all of this on my own. I have no help, no big volunteers or nothing, because I'm myself. I go out and I speak to people and I tell them the truth. And I give them a smile and a good time to laugh, enjoy, and let them know there's a better way to govern than either one of these sides are doing. Nothing personal to anyone. But what's going on here is an absolute scapegoat job, because they're going to try to blame me for why the Republicans lost, and it's actually because of their own actions. So.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.